So this is the max decibel readout that we got. Now let's go ahead, let's turn it to the highest fan speed setting, and let's see how loud it gets. Hey everyone, today in this video, we're gonna be checking out the BLACK+DECKER 8000 BTU portable air conditioner. If you're interested in this product, you wanna find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. You can see the retail box and packaging right here. This is the 8000 BTU model, suitable for 150 square feet, making it great for small living spaces like dorms, apartments, cabins, campers, offices, bedrooms, or living rooms. They have multiple versions available from 8,000 BTU to 10,000 to 12,000, all the way up to 14,000 BTU, and they also have some versions with heat as well. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents. First up, you can see a couple pieces of product literature. We have our portable air conditioners tips and trick guide. We also have our instruction manual for multiple units, both the 8,000 and 10,000 BTU unit. Next, you can see we have the included remote control, and we have 2 included AAA batteries, a bag of screws, our hose inlet. You can see our exhaust hose. We also have our exhaust outlet, and we have our foam seals. You also may notice our 2 window panels. And lastly, we have the unit itself. Let's go ahead, let's look at that up close. Here's a look at the front of the unit. You can see at the top we have our control panel and display. Up at the top we have all of our different indicator light selectors. Then we have 5 different buttons at the bottom. All the way to the left, the first button is our mode selector button, followed by our decreased temperature or time button. Then we have our on and off power button. Then we have our increased temperature and time button, followed by our fan speed selection button. Here's a quick look at the right side of the unit. You can see we actually have a slightly indented handle on this side to grip and move the unit. Same can be said for the left side and its design, but you may notice on this side we pick up some additional venting. Looking at the back of the unit, you can see first up we have our air filter right here. We can remove this for easy access and cleaning, followed by our dehumidifier plug. Then we have our exhaust hose where we're going to attach that. You can see our cable storage right here. And at the very bottom, that black cap is going to be for your condensation drain. Now it's time to get the unit set up. So the first thing we're going to do is assemble the exhaust hose. Here's the hose fully assembled. You just twist both the inlet and the outlet counterclockwise on the hose to install them. Next step is to attach the hose to the back of the unit by twisting it on clockwise to lock it in place. Next up, it's time for our window slider kit installation. You can see how to install it depending on the window that you have. They give you a couple different options, whether it's horizontal or vertical. At this stage, you're going to fit it in. There's a little clear plastic piece you can use to drop in the correct hole for the size of your window. And then you can go ahead and use the included foam. You can lay some down below. And then you want to take the thicker piece, put it up at the top of your window where it's open to create a nice seal there, and you're all set and ready to go. Now you can see we have the exhaust hose attached. It's best to keep the hose length at a minimum and avoid any sharp bends if possible. Now with the unit set up, we have it plugged in, and you can see we have 2 blue lines on our display. Let's go ahead, let's power it on. You can see first up we're in our fan mode with our maximum highest fan speed setting. We can adjust it. Now we're going to be at the lowest. It'll just take a second. There we go. So now it kicked on to the low. We can also go to medium. If we're in dehumidifier or air conditioning mode, we can also have the auto option enabled. So let's go to low. Now let's cycle to different modes. You can see here's AC. And then next we have our dehumidifier. And you can see for the dehumidifier, it's already in the auto. And we don't even have the option to adjust the fan at all. But in the AC mode, we can adjust the fan from low, medium to high to auto, whatever we want. So the remote control offers the same features you can use on the control panel, but we also pick up a couple additional options. So the first one is we can change it from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Then you can see we have our max mode setting right here. This kicks it into auto mode, and we can't adjust the temperature or anything else. And this is going to help cool your room rapidly. So that's the indicator that we have right there. You can see it moving on the screen, letting us know we're in the max mode. We can press again to get out of that mode. Next, you might notice we have a little sleep icon right here. This is our sleep mode. So basically the temperature will increase by 1 degree Fahrenheit every 60 minutes for the first 2 hours. Then it will remain at the selected temperature plus 2 degrees Fahrenheit for another 6 hours before your sleep mode ends. So that's what we got there. And lastly, you can see we have our timer button. I just pressed it, and now you can see the timer options that we have. If we want to enable that, so that'd be for a 6-hour timer. We can adjust it in half-hour increments. From 24 all the way down, you can see right here, I believe it's going to go to 0.5. All the way back up to 24 hours, depending on what we want. So this is the max decibel readout that we got, 71.5 decibels from our unit running in AC mode at the lowest fan speed setting. Now let's go ahead, let's turn it to the highest fan speed setting, and let's see how loud it gets. So we got 72.2 decibels. Now I do want to point out that it's negligible, and in fact, as I cycle between the fan settings with the AC mode enabled, I can't even tell a difference in fan speed, feeling the volume of air coming out. So you're hard pressed to even believe that adjusting the fan speed will even increase airflow or anything like that, especially when you see this result and it's basically the same as if it were operating on low, and in person when you're listening to the unit, it sounds the same regardless of the setting you're on. So now you can see I have the unit set to 64 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the lowest this unit will go. You can see the current temperature right now. We're showing around 79 degrees, I'd say, for the ambient room temperature. Yes, it's that warm in here. But let's go ahead, let's put it a little bit closer right here, and we'll see how cold the air is blowing right now. So I just set it to 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and right now we're getting around 68, 67, 66 degrees Fahrenheit, 64 right there, look at that, blowing out of the unit. Let's come back in 15 minutes and see how much the room has cooled off. All right, it's been 15 minutes. You can see our room temperature is around 76 degrees. Maybe it's gonna peak around 77 degrees Fahrenheit right here. So it's dropped the room around 3 degrees. Let's go ahead, let's see how cold the air is now coming out of the unit. So the temperature of the air coming out of the unit now is 55.99 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's really nice and cool. Now I have it in dehumidifier mode so you guys can see what it's capable of doing. In this mode, we don't have any adjustments, so we can't actually set the target humidity range or anything like that, and we can't adjust anything else here within the unit. So it's very, very basic. And there's no removable bin or anything like that. So your best bet if you want to use this as a dehumidifier is to get an additional hose and have it drip to a drain. But for this particular unit, it's nice that we have the feature, but I wouldn't be buying it personally for the dehumidifier feature. Black & Decker gives you everything you need right out of the box to be up and running in just a couple of minutes so you can start cooling your space. The remote control is definitely my favorite feature about this particular unit. Setup was simple and straightforward. Now with that being said, there are a couple things I'd want to see changed in the future. The first one is I wish they had some sort of built-in storage for the remote control on the unit. That would be nice. I'd like a bigger and larger handle up at the top somewhere on the unit as opposed to just the sides. And this particular portable AC tends to be on the louder side, so I would like to have some sort of silent mode or a quieter mode for this unit in the future.